Bismillah wa billah, walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala khatam al-anbiya wal mursaleen wa ala ahl bayt al-tayyibin al-tahirin al-masumin. Amma ba'd. Dear brothers and sisters in Iman, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So yesterday we introduced you to two works on Wahhabism. Wahhabi Islam, From Revival and Reform to Global Jihad by Nathana J. DeLongbas, which we reviewed yesterday. And tonight, as promised, we will review Wahhabism, a critical essay by Hamid Algar. So, the book in question is written by a professor named Hamid Algar, a professor emeritus in Near Eastern Studies at the University of California, Berkeley. The text is extremely brief, only 80 or so pages long, but it is a sufficient dissection of the Wahhabi movement in which Hamid Algar, demolishes any argument claiming Wahhabism as a reform movement. I personally like this book so much that I promise to give away a free copy of it to one lucky viewer. All you have to do is post a comment on Facebook in the form of a suggestion as to how I can improve these videos, and I promise that I'll select one of you at random and send you a copy, inshallah. Moving on. As I have said, this book is only 80 or so pages long, and truthfully, it says it right in the title that it is a critical essay. So if you are looking for an in-depth study on Wahhabism, you will not find it here. But if you're just interested in knowing the bare essentials to whom Ibn Abdul Wahhab was and his cultish movement, this text is for you. And the author, as I said already, isn't a hypocrite like Nathana J. DeLongbas, hiding one's motive. For he in the title claims it to be a work critical of Wahhabism, hence a critical essay. Now, you may be wondering, how can an 80-page work do justice to such an important topic? I respond by saying, show me just one substantial piece of expository writing of Ibn Abdul Wahhab's that would require a lengthy response. Professor Hamid Algar, unlike Nathana J. DeLongbas, relies on Ibn Abdul Wahhab's very own supporters to make a case against him. On page 14, Hamid Algar says, he writes, that the late Ismail Raji al-Faruqi, in his day one of the principal promoters of Wahhabism in North America, had it almost right when, in the introduction to his translation to Kitab al-Tawheed, he described the book as having, in quotes, the appearance of a student's notes, end quote. It would have been closer to the mark to say that this and many other writings of Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab were the notes of a student, in a flight of fancy that would have done honor to a medieval court panegyrist. Al-Faruqi attempted to account for the general modesty of his hero's literary output by asserting that, quotes, he applied himself to rectifying the alleged misunderstanding of Tawheed by virtually all Muslims, with a mental vigor too great for his pen, end quote. Vigor Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab was certainly about to demonstrate, but whether it was of the mental variety is open to question. So this book is also kind of humorous, so that's another positive aspect of it. If you get a copy of Ibn Abdul Wahhab's Kitab al-Tawheed, you would notice that it is nothing but a collection of hadith and Quranic ayat, listed by topic with no exegesis whatsoever, no commentary. It is no different than the ramblings on Facebook of hormonal teenage Muslims, those who cut and paste religious quotes at their whims, with little to no understanding other than that it suits them at the given moment. And the title Kitab al-Tawheed is used by many scholars to describe a genre of works on divine unity. So many scholars have written books titled Kitab al-Tawheed. For example, Sheikh al-Sadduq, Sheikh al-Sadduq's Kitab al-Tawheed, which is hundreds of pages long, filled with scholastic commentary. Thus, the work of Ibn Abdul Wahhab is an insult. It's a joke to the entire genre of books on Tawheed. So, moving on, nearly the entire beginning of this essay, the biographical portion on Ibn Abdul Wahhab, is cited from Unwan al-Majd fi Tarikh al-Najd, written by Ibn Bishr, an emphatic supporter of the Wahhabi movement. Therefore, the negative image that Hamid Algar portrays of Ibn Abdul Wahhab is almost entirely drawn from those who are Ibn Abdul Wahhab's most ardent supporters. In the book, to summarize, he further highlights using academically sound sources that Ibn Abdul Wahhab was in no way a scholar. He turned his back on hundreds of years of Islamic jurisprudential scholarship. He declared all those who differed with his view on Islam as apostates. He allied himself with the Saudi brutes who plundered and butchered those that Ibn Abdul Wahhab labeled as apostates. His supporters destroyed centuries of Islamic heritage. His movement allied with the infidels, British and other Western powers, for personal gain and wealth, who in turn subjugated the entire Muslim world. And finally, the legacy of extremism and terrorism that is a resultant of Ibn Abdul Wahhab's teachings. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed today's review. If you want to have a copy of this book, just comment with a suggestion and I'll choose one commenter at random and send him or her a copy. I plan on giving out other books for free, so keep watching these reviews during the holy month of Ramadan, and please pray for me, pray for my forgiveness, and all those close to you. This is the month of prayer, so please remember me in your prayers. Till tomorrow, Assalamu alaikum and fi amanillah.